Today, I'm sharing a strategy so simple that even if you have never gotten funded, you can use it and get funded still this year. This is a strategy that I use on a daily basis, and just this week I've been able to make over $13,000 with it. It follows steps so simple that even a trader with no trading experience would be able to become profitable with it. Not only am I going to share with you the entry criteria, but I'm also going to share all of the key secrets that will make it profitable over the long term. I'm also going to be sharing with you all of the trades that I took in order to make over $13,000. So let's go onto the screen and let's see everything. So just this week, I was able to enter in 4 trades, and the result, we had 3 wins, 1 break even, and $13.2 thousand in profit. And what pair was it on? You can already see it on the screen. It was on NASDAQ. You can see all of the executions right here on the screen, and I will go over them very soon. The best thing of this strategy is that by knowing all of the small details, you will be able to avoid so many losses and capitalize on most of the winners. As you can see, every time the market had an expansion, we were able to capitalize. We were able to exit at the top, not once, but 2 and 3 times. The best thing about this strategy is that not only will you be able to take advantage of most of the moves, but also you will be able to reduce the stop losses that you're taking as much as possible. As you can see, we entered in 4 trades, 3 of them were winners and 1 of them was a break even. So technically, this was a 100% strike rate week. Obviously, not every week is going to be like this, but a lot of traders can find success with it. And let me not just say this, let me show you. Just this week, we have been able to add $1.4 million in funding with Toumaj that had been just 30 days into Funded Trading Blueprint and already got funded. But now I know what you want. You want to know the entry criteria. So it's going to be very simple steps. So step number 1 is to identify the daily bias, and this will be done on the daily chart, and I will show you exactly how to do that very soon. Then 2, identify the higher time frame PD array you expect the market to react from, and this will be done on the 1-hour chart. Step number 3, you wait for the market open. You never trade before the stock market open, which is going to be happening at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Criteria number 4, you wait for the manipulation towards the higher time frame PD array previously identified. And if you want to increase your strike rate, you can wait for a SMT at the lows with ES, but this is optional. 5, once hit, you wait for a 5-minute market shift, and then you enter on the 1-minute fair value gap, targeting the internal liquidity in order to be able to take your profits. So notice how all of these steps right here are done before the market open, and all of these steps are waiting, and only one step is the execution. So we need to talk a lot about the waiting part and then about the execution and taking profits part, which is a lot of our profits, because as you can see on the trades taken, which I will break all of them down, all of them were called on the Discord, by the way, we were able to exit at the top. Right here, we were able to avoid a very strong pullback, and this trade was actually due to a mistake that I got out there. And then last but not least, we were able to avoid a pretty big pullback towards our break-even point. And then last but not least, on this board, I have the market maker models. This is extremely important to understand how we are executing. And why is that? It's because we can actually point both of these together. So identify the daily bias will be identifying if you are going to want to execute on a bullish market maker buy model or on a bearish market maker sell model. Then the higher time frame PD array, this is where you want the market to go towards. And then with the market open, that's where you want the market to go to, right? The higher time frame PD array. Afterwards, you wait for the 5-minute market structure shift. You go down to the 1-minute and you look for the fair value gap to enter on, and you target the internal liquidity. Now you might be asking, Kimmel, why would we target the internal liquidity? The reason why is because the external liquidity usually takes a little bit longer to be targeted. And because I want you to see as much success as possible with this strategy, I personally recommend targeting internal liquidity. Because as you can see, notice how external range liquidity right here was only targeted after we already had 3 winners. Look at this consistency. That is exactly what you want. That is what is going to get you funded. So right now, let's go into the charts and understand every single trade that I took and how they fit this entry criteria. The daily bias on this day was always bullish because we had the inverted fair value gap that the market was reacting from. And notice how in the beginning of the day, we went down towards the inverted fair value gap and then we reacted. Same thing here, and then eventually we had the expansion. And then on Friday, we did not trade. And why? Because the market showed a price action that was against our bias. So just keep in mind that point number one is hit with our daily bias being bullish. Point number two, we go to the 1 hour time frame and we identify where we want to see the market reacting from. And so in this case, it was the 50% of this fair value gap. And notice how the market went perfectly towards the 50% of the fair value gap. On Tuesday, we reacted out of the 1 hour order block, and that's what created this bullish bias. On Wednesday, we also had the 1 hour order block. The market reacts off of the 1 hour order block and provides us a very great win. And then on Thursday, we had the reaction out of the fair value gap, once again, creating a beautiful, beautiful win. So point number two, identify the higher time frame PD rate that you expect the market to react from. That's checked on every single trade. The reason I'm doing that is because now I'm going to show you everything on the 5 minute. So on the 5 minute, we have the market open happening right here. And notice exactly what happens on the 5 minute market open. We have the market moving lower towards the higher time frame PD array and also sweeping all of these lows. This creates a very high probability trading scenario. And then we have the 5 minute market shift happening right after. Now we wait for the market to create the SMT at the lows. And then once we have the 5 minute market shift, all that we're waiting for is now signs that the market wants to move bullish. And so once we have the next manipulation, we have the two internal market shifts, we execute and the market goes beautifully to our take profit. So we have every single entry criteria, and as you can see, we targeted the internal liquidity, and that is what made us lock in the win. Now on Tuesday, the same exact thing happened where we have the market open right here, the market moves higher, but notice how we move lower, manipulating, hitting the higher time frame PD array and sweeping the previous lows. And then we have the 5 minute market shift right there. If we go down to the 1 minute, we will be able to see exactly where our entry was as the market came back towards the fair value gap and then moved to the upside. In this case, this was another trade that I took live in front of the community, and I did end up having the break even, and that was the break even for the week. It's unfortunate because it still went towards the final target, but hey, you win some, you lose some. It is the name of the game. Now on Wednesday, we have the same exact entry criteria where we have the market going to the higher time frame PD array. We have the 5 minute market shift right here with this inverted fair value gap. We create the fair value gap after the inversion, and notice where the market goes to. The market goes perfectly towards the 50% of the fair value gap. You could have executed anywhere at the fair value gap. I executed after the reaction out of the fair value gap, and notice how the market just went straight and beautifully towards the take profit, which once again, the take profit was at internal liquidity. Notice how I'm not targeting the highs. So in this case, the only mistake that I had was that I was managing the trade aggressively and I forgot that I had my stop loss here. But again, we were able to lock in a solid return. And last but not least, we have the next trade. On the next trade, we have the market opening, moving bullish, going for the highs, and then a strong manipulation, creating what? Once again, the market maker model. You can see the market maker model happening here. You can see the market maker model happening here. You can see the market maker model happening here. You can see the market maker model in every single one of these trades. And so on Thursday, once we have the 5 minute market shift, I go down to the lower time frame and I'll wait for the fair value gap. The fair value gap gets hit and then I enter on the trade. And in this case, the market goes once again to liquidity and then reacts bearish. But you can see how we always waited for the market to open, the market to manipulate, and the market then distribute in line with daily bias. And that's how simple we can keep trading. It's just identifying the higher time frame PD array, identify the direction that the market is going in, and then wait for the market maker to set up and then execute waiting for it to complete. And don't take it from me that I made $13.2 thousand with a 100% strike rate. Take it from all the students that got funded still this week, which we got $1.4 million in funding added. We had Bobby with a $9,000 payout, Marcia with a $1,000 payout, we had Damien with a $1.2 thousand payout, Underdog with a $1.9 thousand payout, and so much money in funding. We have gotten over $40 million worth of funding, and within 100 days you can get the same result. If that is something that you're looking for and you want a consistent way to approach the markets, Funded Trading Blueprint is an amazing community and mentorship to be in. And this is the entry criteria that we use in order to crush the market every single week. And so with that being said, if you want the daily market breakdowns that I do for the community, the trade recaps, the live streams, you can sign up with the second link in the description. If you're looking for the best prop firm in order to execute this on and become funded, then you have Funding Ticks, which with code Kimmel, you will always get the best discount code. And don't hesitate to tag me when you get funded with this trading strategy. I'm excited to see you applying it, and I'll see you once you're funded.